crypto warriors, changing our world day by day. The way of the crypto warriors, can't rely on the bankers, no way.
Good morning, Bix Weir, roadrunner.com with your morning horn of Z's, your sip of chaga coffee. Let's see what's going on in the gold and silver world. Oh, by the way, I'm hearing on just random people saying they're selling their silver eagles for $10 over spot to dealers. Yeah, I don't know what the buyback rate is, but yeah, that's that. I mean, you think about it, that's like a 55-60% premium on a sellback to dealers. I don't even know what to say anymore about the U.S. Mint. Clearly, they are breaking the law left and right. And the worst part is they have not issued any statements on why this is going on. Yeah, I'm sure they're going to blame, the economic crash or the problems in shipping because it's not the sickness anymore. They're going to blame something, but there's nothing going on right now that is stopping them. So they have been illegally rationing silver eagles for a very long time. According to the law, here's the law. Notwithstanding any other provision of law, the secretary, meaning Janet Yellen, shall mint and issue, that's a big word in the law, shall mint and issue in quantities that the secretary determines are sufficient to meet public demand. Now, if Janet Yellen wants to say that the current production amount is sufficient to meet public demand, I want her to do that under oath. I want her to explain why there's 80-90% premiums on silver eagles, but that counts as meeting demand. Because clearly that she is not meeting demand. She's producing at 25% of capacity, at least the capacity we know of. Ventris Gibson said they expanded capacity. Now, why would they expand capacity when they don't want to make silver eagles anymore? There's so many things that don't make sense. But the biggest problem is the U.S. Mint is not communicating with the United States of America. These people work for us. I hate to tell you, Ventris, you work for us. Now, Ventris Gibson is the current director of the Mint, has zero experience in minting any coins. What she has experience is HR, human resources. So if you're going to wind down the Mint, shut down the Mint, and fire the employees, well, tell us. You guys cannot operate in secret. Please make a statement. The U.S. Mint has to make a statement as to why, and you're not going to blame the crash because this is going on while other mints are having no problem sending out coins. This is a fraud. This is illegal. This is America. Speaking of fraud and illegal, silver's still under $20. At least the spot price. You can't find any physical silver. You might be able to get the war nickels with 35% at just barely over spot. Everything else coming out of the U.S. Mint, you're going to pay a huge premium. I was buying the 50? Hi, buddy. The 40% silver coins because hey, come here, buddy. Come on up. Come here. So my dog just ran in. He wants his morning snack. He's going to get up and say hi. Come on. You got to look here. Look here. Look there. Look there. He's like, no, give me my snack. Give me my snack. All right, go sit down. That's my morning. Usually before the Horn of Z's. And he just licked my glasses. Hang on. So, yeah, I'm buying the silver. The premiums have come up on the. This is the 1965 to it varies mainly to 1971, the 40% silver, because the premiums weren't all that much. They grew and they're getting bigger and bigger now that people are saying, well, if I want U.S. Mint coinage, the pre-65 stuff, 90% silver is selling at, close to $10 premium anyway. So you have to keep going down the food chain. The lowest in the food chain is the nickels. The war nickels from like 1940 something, 43 or whatever it is. You can get bags and bags of those. So I hear. Those will disappear instantly. The problem with the nickels is you're going to need 3 times as much storage space. And the resale value, I mean, I don't know what you'll get for them. If the whole concept of buying U.S. mint product, if you're a U.S. citizen, comes to the conclusion that they're never going to confiscate U.S. Coinage. They might try to confiscate other stuff, or at least pay us for it. Cliff High's data says that the U.S. government comes and offers like a high price of fiat money for your silver. And a lot of people cash in. You know, if the price of silver rigged on the COMEX is $20, and the U.S. Secretary of Treasury comes out and says, "Hey, we'll give you $100 an ounce for your silver," a lot of people would turn it in, not knowing that, oh, by the way, they did the same thing in 1933, 34, confiscating the gold, and then as soon as they got as much gold as they could get, they changed the price from $20 to $35. That type of thing will go on. It's not changing the price. The price was fixed back then. Now it would be letting the COMEX trade freely. More likely, someone like the Joe Biden administration will say, "Oh my God, all these speculators are causing the price of everything to go up. There's no more investing in commodities." The problem now is everything's global. We live in a global market, and good or bad, the black market for this stuff will come out instantly. The U.S. government should stay out of money, stay out of commodities, stay out of anything related to banking, other than what they need in taxes. I think the U.S. government is and has been creating gold and silver eagles ready for the switch, the crashing of the old system and the building of something new. As a matter of fact, it says it on the $100 bill right on the front there. Go to roadtoroota.com and look under hidden secrets in the new $100 bill. It says the U.S. reserves the right to overthrow their government right on the front of the $100 bill, written in gold. Part of the Declaration of Independence. I love that part. Go check that out at roadtoroota.com. All right, so gold-silver ratio is at 85-1. If you have gold, you are insane. Well, I don't know how many ounces of silver, because silver have these massive premiums now because the price is so low. So I would swap any gold for silver going down to 10-1. I don't think 10-1 will be the ratio. It'll probably be closer to 1-10. 1-10, meaning 1 ounce of gold will buy you, or 1 ounce of silver will buy you 10 ounces of gold. Only because I know how much gold there is. Well, there's at least 10 times the amount that Jeffrey Christian will tell you. There's not 200,000 tons of gold. I talked with Andy Scheckman yesterday on Twitter. We had a live chat on Twitter. Go check that out on the Miles Franklin Twitter page. I think I was his second Twitter discussion. We had a great discussion last night about what the future will bring for gold and silver, and I'm of the opinion there are good people within the U.S. government, and I've seen this point blank in the Road to Roota. I spent 10 years studying this long before what was going on now. Everybody's like, "Oh, this is what's going to happen. We're going to have XRP, and we're going to have Klaus Schwab's going to create CBDCs and all." No, that is not the plan. They can do what they want. I don't give a shit what the bad guys do, because we're not going to be listening to them anymore. That nuke guy in the UK is 100% a Klaus Schwab guy. Kiss your asses goodbye. I think it's great for the UK because it'll foment the crash faster. The destruction. What the UK needs is the destruction of the system, just like the United States. There's no smooth landing, as you can tell from all the market rigging going on in cryptos. There will be no smooth landing. There needs to be a crash to settle the scores of the past. The rich need to lose everything along with the poor. The poor are much better at fending for themselves. When this crash happens, it's the rich who will be going, "Oh my God, what do you mean? What's going on here? We have to restart the system because I lost everything." No, you were just too dumb to put your fiat assets, your crazy stocks and bonds and all that derivative shit into something real. And that's your fault. All the bankers in the world will be gone. No, they won't. One of the funniest things is people saying, "Well, they'll move to an XRP system if the banks crashes." The XRP won't have a customer base if the banks crash. And those people say, well, a lot of banks bought a lot of XRP. What's the first thing they're going to sell as they go bankrupt? XRP. And what will that do to the price of XRP? I mean, anybody who bought XRP was conned. And I don't blame the people who bought XRP, but they were conned into thinking that the bad guys would be in charge for the rest of this time. It's not true. Bad guys are going down. XRP, created by 3 Morgan Stanley people. I think it was 2. Then they were computer programmers, and they've sold most of their XRP. They're trying to sell as much as they can. Why would you believe in a system like that? It's just, I feel bad for people because a lot of really good people invested in that. But there was no future for it in the beginning. If the banks go, XRP is useless. If the banks stay in power, then they'll invent their own new SWIFT system. They don't need these 3 bankers who would make a zillion, quadrillion dollars off of XRP. What central bank in the world would ever fall for that? None. But they're not going to get to decide anyway. It's going to be the U.S. Everybody's going to close their borders. The U.S. will go back to a gold and silver standard. You'll be free to use any type of money you want, which is, in a free country, that's what you should be able to do. So you can use Bitcoin or Litecoin or Theta and gold and silver. And I think the U.S. government is planning to issue massive amounts of gold and silver eagles, as well as other gold and silver coinage. Federal Reserve will be done. All the banks will be shut down because it's a fractional reserve system. They'll be gone. So it's interesting times ahead, and you got to think on your feet. Literally, I spent 10 years studying this stuff. So it's no surprise to me what's going on right now. People are even talking about the crashing of the old system. And that's what Ruta was talking about at the end of the Road to Ruta comic books. It's like, how do you allocate money when the system is gone? They use colored flowers as symbolic of money, but that's what they were talking about. And what they did in the comic book was allocate the new colored flowers or gold and silver money according to Social Security balances. Everybody would get a flat level to, who knows how many, 10 gold coins each. And then people who bought into the system the longest, off of the Social Security balances, will get the next bump up because, people who have bought into the system for a long time paid a lot in Social Security. That is a debt of the United States of America to the people. And since the United States of America can, with a stroke of a pen, authorize Ventures Gibson to fire up those brand new Silver Eagle machines. She said she just installed them. She sent me a letter saying we just installed a whole bunch of new capacity for Silver Eagles. They didn't say gold. I think they had plenty of gold. They've been making gold eagles for, I don't even know how. Probably, they weren't called gold eagles prior to 1987. That's when the Gold Eagle Act was introduced. But, the gold coinage that comes out of the United States from all the hidden gold mines we have in the United States is probably unfathomable. There's literally a good. You want a visual of this? Watch the movie. It's the new Wizard of Oz remake, Oz the Great and Powerful. When he goes into the Cave of Gold, and there's just mountains of gold stacked coins. That's true. That's within the United States. Believe it or not, that's what we've been doing for the past 100 years, is printing gold coinage for the people to have as this transition happens. A lot of people know it's happening. A lot of people know we have mountains of riches in gold coins ready for the reintroduction of a gold standard. We're just waiting for someone to be willing to stop the manipulation. You don't have to pull the plug, just stop the manipulation. And that is not happening clearly on the COMEX, although open interest is dropping. Volumes are really dropping. Check out the COMEX volumes. They were huge back in 2000 and 2001. When the silver squeeze was going on, massive volumes. You look at the volumes. This is the 20-year chart. In 20 years, did you know in 20 years, they'd never seen so much volume. This back here in 2011 was JP Morgan's Operation Silver Slam. I've written about it. I wrote about it while it was happening, what Jamie Dimon and his criminal operation were doing. So they drove the price of silver up from $20 to $25 to $50 from January to May 1st. And that was done by a guy named Bill Daley. Bill Daley was Jamie Dimon's head of his SWAT team, is what he called it back then in 2011. When there's ever a problem, you throw Bill Daley at it. Yes, of the Daley crime family out of Chicago. But where did he put him? He put it as the chief of staff for Barack Obama. That's how important the silver rigging was to J.P. Morgan back then, because they bought out Bear Stearns that had the big silver short position. And then they got a guarantee from the government. Then they were allowed to rig the silver market even longer, which Bart Chilton told us all before he passed away. And then they got busted when Trump came in. You know, people who say, "Oh, Trump wasn't a good guy." Of course he was. A lot of things Trump did we don't even know about. But one of the things we do know about, Jamie Dimon tried to destroy the United States of America financial system when Trump was running for re-election. And Trump put the hammer down on him, charged J.P. Morgan with RICO charges. I mean, that's the stuff you do for the mafia. It was shocking at the time. And he tamed Jamie Dimon fairly easily, although he shook up the gold and silver markets. And then they had to go back. Trump's DOJ had to go back and charge J.P. Morgan with something. They paid a $920 million fine, but they booked $1 billion in gains in gold and silver that same year because they had to divest of 1.2 billion ounces, which went into a derivative contract through Bank of America. We have all the data on that, and it is winding down. This is the last quarter. And that's why you see the COMEX inventories being destroyed. And the timing of that goes right into the end of the year. The big question to me is, where's that silver ending up? Right now, Jenny Moonstone led us down this path again. It is Warren Buffett. Yes, Warren Buffett. You know, we've been in a silver shortage for a supply-demand deficit for 2 years now in silver, meaning the demand is we're consuming a lot more silver than we're mining out of the ground, and is coming back in recycling. Why did Warren Buffett buy 130 million ounces of silver in the late 90s? Because of the exact thing that's going on right now. We were in a supply-demand deficit. And then they closed down the Y12 facility at the Manhattan Project and brought about 3 billion ounces of silver into the market right in the beginning of the 2000s. They closed it down in the mid-90s, and then they used, for the next 10 or 15 years, they used that silver to control the physical side of the market. But now, as everybody can see from the published warehouse numbers, which I think are bullshit anyway, I think it's a lot lower, but even from those, silver is draining out of those warehouses. Most of it in London. A lot of it's going to India, which the Indians know a bargain when they see it. They look at gold and silver as money, as dowry. They've had so many banks fail that they know what's going to happen. The United States is just oblivious to it. And when the United States turns and says, "Oh my God, I better load up on silver," there'll be none left. So that's where we are. And it takes maybe one man. The other person who's buying the silver, according to Jenny, is Elon Musk. We all know Elon needs massive amounts of silver for his solar panels and his cars into the future. Elon's not dumb. He walked into the Twitter headquarters the other day. I love that. He just walked in with a sink or a toilet. I don't fully understand it, but hey, Elon does things that you don't understand once in a while, and then you look back and say, holy shit, that was brilliant. And yes, he said he's going to fire 75% of the people there, and they're all freaking out now, and they deserve worse than being fired, truthfully. I would say Twitter is the number one rigger of elections. Of course, they lie, cheat, and steal. I mean, what company literally has the power to kick a president off their platform? It's just insane. It was a sitting president at the time, I believe. Anyway, that's where we are. The good guys are winning this battle. We will ultimately win. The question is for you: is where are you going to park your silver? I'd say get as much silver as possible. If you can get the 40% silver at not the crazy premiums, go for it. You need some U.S. coinage if you live in the United States. If you live in the U.K., get some of the Britannias, or is it Britannias? Something from the UK Mint. If you live in Canada, the Canadian Mint. In Australia, the Perth Mint. That has, I mean, literally, that is the money of the very near future. And all it takes, remember, it doesn't take someone trying to crash the market. It takes the manipulators take one step back and it instantly crashes because of the 2 quadrillion in derivatives. And ultimately, that's what's going to happen. You know, I'm awesome. I'm so excited that so many people know about this now, that the system's going to crash. And a lot of people are taking steps to, take care of themselves. And you should. Never in the history of humanity has there been a global unbacked fiat monetary faith type of system. It's not all faith. It's a lot of it was done by the barrel of a gun out of the United States of America. We've taken out so many countries it's hard to fathom. But the bully on the block has been exposed, and the only power the bully on the block had was the power to print money, the unbacked fiat money, and they lie about it too. The United States, I mean, it's so funny to watch people look at, oh my God, look at our debt. Nobody looks at the debt anymore. Nobody cares. Nobody cared back then. The United States prints more money than the debt shows anyway. Who's to say that the Federal Reserve and the Treasury have to report anything? They don't. It's all a game. It's a confidence game. The confidence is shot. Russia, China, everybody knows it now. It's just, okay, when is the final plug going to be pulled? I would expect it to happen in the next couple of weeks. Maybe a month. But who knows? Right around election time, there's clearly going to be some chaos. I mean, if you're looking for a false flag to happen, think of around the election time. I don't know what it would be. Who knows? An alien sighting or an EMP, or it could be anything. But the bad people don't want to lose power, and even the people who came in, they're half criminal as well. There's the Republicans and the Democrats. That's two sides of the same coin. How about some truth and honesty hits America? How about why not get rid of the 300 and I think it's 35 million people who work directly or indirectly for the government? That's scary. 10% of the population works directly or indirectly for the government. 99% of those are completely useless jobs meant to enslave us, not to free us. So that's where my take is. Hey, if you want more on the U.S. code, go check it out. People were asking in the Twitter chat about numismatics. Numismatic means collectible. That's all it means. I mean, let's take a look at numismatic in like Wikipedia. Numismatic is the study or collection of currency, including coins, tokens, paper money, metals, related objects. They're often characterized as students or collectors of coin, but the discipline also includes the broader study of money. It's basically a round term for anything. If you pay more for the numismatic value, you're paying more because you are betting that other collectors will value it more later than you do today. There's nothing in the confiscation law. People say, oh, they won't confiscate U.S. coins. Of course they will. If they confiscate coins, I don't think they will. But the term numismatic doesn't have to be printed by the government. All it is it's a round thing that was fabricated. Now, a bar is not numismatic. A 1 ounce coin that was fabricated, well, a bar can be numismatic. There's no law that says, oh my God, you have to have numismatic coins, and the people who tell you that are stealing your money. Andy talked about that yesterday. Theta, we have exactly 35 days. Can you imagine? You're sitting there with your Theta. You've been riding out this craziness. You bought it at 4 cents. It went up to $15. It went back down to $1. You're like, shit, I should have sold it $15. And then the meta chain comes out, and Amazon says, we are building our own blockchain. Come to the Amazon blockchain, and we are building it on the meta chain Theta. It will be an Amazon blockchain, but it'll be a subchain of Theta because Amazon can't run their own blockchain. There's too much centralization there, and No one would trust it. Apple can't own their own blockchain. No one would trust it. It has to be a trusted blockchain. That is what Theta Labs invented as of December 1st. Companies, people, anybody can create their own blockchain that is approved through the Theta system, which is very trustworthy. And it also means it's ultra scalable. And because it's proof of stake, it is not using up any energy. So the green people will be happy. And the aliens, the green people. Anyway, 35 days. I expect to see so many announcements about companies, not on December 1st, but over the next year, about companies saying, yeah, this Theta meta chain is what we want to be on. And this is Hitomi, the remote viewer, said she drew pictures of all these coins in relation to Theta. And she said, I don't know why. Like YouTube has a Theta meta chain. Well, we already know Google's involved with Theta. Samsung and Sony will have Theta meta chains. And they'll announce it. Come visit the new Samsung, buy your products from Samsung with the Samsung coin powered and approved by Theta. By the Theta Guardians. If you have a Guardian node, bravo on you. And they got to use T-Fuel. They burn T-Fuel every time they do a transaction. So yes, you definitely need to get yourself some Theta for the future. Also, another rail union rejects Biden-backed tentative labor agreement. We knew this was going to happen. We knew the rail people are going on strike. It's part of and they're missing diesel fuel. How we get products anywhere anyway. And China's going to shut off products from the United States anyway. They're this close to doing that. How much shit do we get from China? All of it. This is a big deal. There's a lot going on in the world right now. And ultimately, the end of fiat money, which will be the greatest thing humanity. That'll be the breaking away from the vampire squid, as the Rolling Stone magazine called them. It's that Goldman Sachs. All of these criminal bankers need to go to jail. I know, I was a banker. I didn't work in the criminal divisions. They do have criminal divisions. Bill Daley, ask Bill Daley what he did to Silver when he was the chief of staff with Barack Obama. There's a criminal who needs to go to jail. Not to mention all the criminals within cryptos. The Tether folks. The crypto cabal, as I call them. There's going to be a lot of empty spaces in jails that will be filled up quick, hopefully. Anyway, I'm getting ready for my discussion with Jenny Moonstone today. We're going to go down some rabbit holes. For the private road members, if you want to join the private road, go to road2ruta.com. Click on subscribe today, and we will send you this coin, the coolest coin ever. The coolest coin ever, right up there with the American Eagle. Yeah. I think this is the coolest coin ever. I mean, the one with the Grand Canyon is pretty damn cool. The Road to Ruta coin with the Grand Canyon. We might give those out as well at some point. I have a couple of those left, so we'll see. This program will end instantly when silver makes the run, probably past $30. There's no holding it back after that. So we will stop giving away the silver Ruta coin. So get yours today. You can renew as many years as you want and get as many coins as you want. At some point, probably when it hits 30, we're going to just stop giving away coins. We'll probably give away some crypto after that. So that's what I got for you. This is Bix Weir. I'll talk to you later.